Okay, guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we've got two special guests today. First of all, we have Aaron Sparrow, who is a semi-regular here on Clownfish TV. Clownfish TV.
Clownfish TV.
Clownfish TV. This is live. I cannot edit that. Aaron, who has worked on a number of comics projects, including Darkwing Duck for Boom and Joe Books.
Yes, hey.
So he's dealt
Hey,
with.
everybody. Neon's already been drinking.
Make sure you can all hear everybody. If you can't tell us, because last
make sure
time
we can hear.
you couldn't hear. Go ahead.
And we've got a new special guest, Stormy, who's actually one of our listeners, and she's a regular on our Discord, and she's a huge She-Ra fan.
Yep.
And we've been talking back and forth, and she's like, guys, I gotta get on your show to talk about this because I got concerns. But Stormy, could you introduce yourself? What all do you do?
Well, hi everyone. Basically, I'm 35. I'm from Germany. I've got the experience because I'm an editor at the German Geek magazine.
Oh wow!
So I kind of like to do reviews for fun. And this hasn't been fun watching a shit show.
This hasn't been. Oh my god! So we did a pre-recorded reaction the first two episodes this morning, and we didn't expect to get as much. We had like 650 people watching a pre-recorded. So we've been talking to Aaron and Stormy behind the scenes here. We're like, we'll get everybody together on live stream for the next batch of episodes. Thank you, Nicholas Horton. Didn't have to do it. There was a character that looked like Grizzlor, but enough for plausible deniability if they've got some weird thing going on with the He-Man rights. But we were hoping maybe the show would get better. But sweet Jesus, it got worse.
Yeah, it did. It got worse.
It got worse. Oh God.
Okay, first of all, what is Aaron and Stormy's opinion of the first couple episodes? Because you weren't there on our initial reaction. So go ahead. We'll let Stormy go. Go ahead, Stormy. What did you think of the first two episodes?
So I got to, I don't know if everyone knows this, I got to watch this last week for the magazine, and I sat through this thinking if I get more painkillers, maybe this would make it better. You see, I grew up this huge She-Ra fan, and the news come out, this series is coming. I'm like, oh my god, my feminist childhood icon is getting a series. Everyone will finally take her serious. Then the first pictures come, and I'm like, okay, not my art style, but can still be good. Then there's the trailer, and I go, okay, they can't use Eternia, obviously, right now, but maybe it's still good. And then you watch these first two episodes and go, okay, this is not working. I mean, I think I wasn't even that disappointed with the first two because they're not that bad. They're kind of mediocre. But in my head, when you're a classic fan, you compare them to Secret of the Sword, and you sit there and okay, this is not working for me. And it gets so much worse with every episode. So yeah.
Yeah, it did. It was bad.
Oh my god.
I was the same way. I was like, when I heard they were making it, I was so excited. I'm like, She-Ra! Oh my god, She-Ra! I know her! Oh my god! And then I saw the name attached to it, and I immediately knew it was going to suck. But so.
Aaron, what did you think? You had a chance to watch the first couple episodes.
Is he there?
Hello.
No, Aaron said we might lose him a couple times.
Oh, okay.
Aaron, are you there?
He's
here, but
he's hiding. He's hiding. He can't.
He's always hiding.
He's in the fetal position.
And I think he's having trouble. He's losing service. Are you there, Aaron? Okay, we'll come back to Aaron when he can talk. 'Cause he said he might have to stop somewhere, and he might cut out.
And we had hopes for it originally until we saw who the showrunner was, and we knew what kind of work the showrunner did, because DreamWorks brought back Voltron, and I think Voltron's actually been pretty good. Voltron's been pretty good,
mostly, yeah.
For the most part, and we're like, wow, okay, so DreamWorks.
Are you back, Aaron? No.
Oh, he's trying. He's talking, but he's not actually saying anything. I hear
we
pings.
still can't hear you. Go ahead.
Well, we'll get Aaron on here eventually. Hopefully, he'll come back in. Now we got trucks too. It's wonderful. But yeah, we actually thought that the show was going to be, pretty solid, like Voltron, first class animation. That they were going to really pull out all the stops, and then we're like, oh my god, they hired a bunch of people from Tumblr to run this show. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh wait, he had to come back in. Hold on. We got him?
We got him. You hear
Aaron?
Sorry, I had.
There
I
you
had
are.
To,
There we go.
I had to rejoin.
That's okay. So we want to know what you saw the first couple episodes. We want to know what you thought of the first couple episodes.
Well, you know what's funny is right off the bat, I forgot that today was like the launch day, and I logged as did probably a lot of people, but I logged into Netflix, and usually Netflix, you know, I watch a lot of animation, obviously, and I've watched Dragon Prince, and I've watched, you know, other Netflix originals, so they always like recommend, you know, like when you first log in, there's that recommendation, like, hey, you got to watch this. Nothing. Like they gave me nothing.
We noticed that too. It was weird.
Which is very unusual for Netflix, I thought. So it makes me wonder what kind of confidence they have in this, if any. But then Neon reminded me it's She-Ra Day, and I was like, oh, I got to go watch right now. So I logged in.
She-Ra Day, is that what we're calling it?
With an open mind.
The day that shall live in infamy.
That I thought were good first.
Okay.
The background are really great. I really do like the work that they've done on the backgrounds. I think that the world looks really lush and vibrant, and the fright zone looks dark and creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. It's not bad in the way that I thought it was going to be. It's bad in an entirely different way to me.
Yeah, I mean, we've said that before. Like the backgrounds actually aren't.
The thing is,
bad.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I did. When they zoom in on them, like they're zooming in on them, instead of just doing like new backgrounds, using what they have, and they're zooming in on it, and everything looks really like not pixelated so much, but almost like they use the crayon tool, or like one of the pencil tools to draw it, and you can see all like the up close. It looks like it's not sharp. And then I know we were watching the Madame Razz episode. You can see the line of white pixels around one section they didn't even paint.
Yeah, that's just the thing. There's later the prom episode, and I did many screenshots of that to see all these cameos they had, and you watch through these stills and see there's an ear missing, there's a see-through person, so I don't know. I mean, back in the 80s they had to hand draw everything, and it turned out perfect. I mean,
Yep, well, everybody's kind of breaking up here a little bit. Aaron, you're breaking up, man.
Episode, and they can't figure out the basics.
Yeah, it is. It's like they can't do the basics. Go ahead, Aaron. What you're gonna say?
Oh, I might have just been picking up some distortion from where I'm at.
We got you.
I didn't. You know, the biggest problem for me with the show so far is tone. I'm supposed to take the Horde as this incredibly credible threat, and yet they're training a total buffoon to be their Horde captain. I mean, she's clumsy. She's awkward. Oh my god!
How about the finger guns?
So awkward.
How about the finger guns in the mirror?
Finger guns in the first episode. I was gritting my. She's like, oh, she's training. And I'm like, okay, I can do it. And then she does like the finger guns, does the pew pew pew, and I was like, oh, here we go with the millennial humor. You know.
Yeah, and she's dumb too. That's my problem. She's uneducated. She's in a Horde school, and they used to imply the Horde school in the old show, and it was literally like grim, and of course they were trying to educate kids into their offspring or something, but they weren't dumb. They knew about the universe. I mean, Horde Prime is a universal being. They have got a whole galaxy, so they learn about planets and stuff. And now you get Adora there, who doesn't know what a fucking horse is. I'm sorry. But
She doesn't know what a horse
You know
is.
what? You're not from America, but in America, people in America will get this. All I have to say is Common Core. So,
my god. Common Core.
Because it's a
New
thing
math.
in America where they do like this stuff to basically teach to tests, and they do these like mental gymnastics things to try to do things, and it's so illogical and stupid, and then the kids are like suffering for it, and they call it Common Core. So that's what it reminds me of. Their education now in the Horde is Common Core.
Yeah, they take a great dig at Common Core in The Incredibles too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it was great.
New math. What's wrong with old math? Yeah, it never felt like the Horde was, and that was one of the complaints we had too with it in the previous video was there's no sense of scale. There's no sense of the Horde being this major military force. I mean, they are in the original He-Man. They are an interdimensional, intergalactic threat. They've got thousands of Horde robots and Horde ships and tanks and all kinds of stuff. And in this show, we just don't get that. We get a handful of kids in riot gear
Yeah,
Yeah.
they never established the stakes in those first episodes. And the thing that, like, the first question I asked was when Adora makes the comment that, or maybe it's her. No, someone makes the comment that any Horde regiment that's ever gone into the Whispering Woods has vanished without a trace.
That was,
And my first thought was, well, if that's where the rebels are hiding and Hordak is so evil, why hasn't he just burned it to the ground?
Right.
Like, why hasn't he just napalmed all of the Whispering Woods?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about, that. I mean, it seems like, I mean, it's written by. Look, I mean, it's got a very young staff working on it. These people clearly have like no military background at all, because none of the characters, either on the Horde side or the Rebellion, act like soldiers at all. Like, at
Leon,
all.
Can you please draw me the scene where they're trying to keep the sword away from Aurora? Could you draw this for me, where Glimmer throws the sword to Bo, and
like
Bo
freaking...
catches it by the blade?
I know, with his elbows. And then
I want you to redraw it where it just goes right through him and just halves
Oh my
it.
god.
I don't know about you guys, but what is it with them that whenever they see something like each other, whenever they just scream at it? Like, not like scream like, oh, you surprised me. They just like literally, like, it'd be like if someone like tried to run you over with a car, you just stopped and was like, ah, at their car. Or, someone had points a gun at you, you just look at it and go, ah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They scream about everything.
I know. Real quick, thank you. $2. I am dying inside, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Melena Davis. Thank you so much. Yeah, they shriek at everything. They scream at everything.
And
I hate Bo so much. I
know.
I can't stand him. He's not going to be my best friend squad. He's not going to be my new BFF.
No, Tom hates him too. Hates him too.
Like, Bo needs a good solid backhand. I'm told to, stop it.
Stormy's seen further than we have. Does it get any better?
No.
I didn't think so. But I thought I'd ask.
I mean, they promised everyone gets an arc, Bo too, and like he gets this problem with he's got no power, but I mean, he has one line like, "Oh my God, I'm not a princess," and I'm pretty sure that's it. That's his whole problem. He's not a fucking princess.
No, the moment he said that in my head, I thought, "You're a princess." Don't worry.
Well, then, like, I like the part like where they have the princess, the council or whatever they are, and then Natasha and Spinnerella are always there, but they're like, we don't know what they do, and they just sit there.
They just sit there. Like, that's so funny and random. There are two women that just show up, and we have no freaking idea what they do, and they just sit here.
And that's why that one reviewer said they're making fun of the only LGBT couple we have there. They implied lots of couples, but they like the only half outspoken couple. And what they do is they make fun about the joke. I mean, that's not representation. I'm sorry.
And that's like even with Bo. Like, I mean, it's kind of assumed that I think Bo's supposed to be gay. I think.
I don't know. They kind of seem like it was Seahawk.
But yeah, they kind of made it out like he's kind of got the hots for Seahawk, or just extreme man crush. Wow, yeah, we got motorcycles and everything going. But like, it's so cliche. Like, all he cares about are parties and accessorizing.
Oh,
and
was the one that wasn't party? Pillow fight.
Pillow fight. Oh my God.
They have a sleepover, and I said they're gonna pillow fight, and then he's like pillow fight, and I'm like, oh my God, I was kidding. Okay.
Oh my God. So I guess.
Well, he might as well be a princess, because there's no, like, as far as I can tell, none of the characters are that different. Like, everybody has the same kind of personality, and they all, like, you could switch their dialogue around, and as long as it's not plot specific with Adora, it could be anybody.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's like they all seem like the same person. The only one I think is different is Catra.
Yeah, Catra is the only character, believe it or not, Catra's the only character on the show I actually give a shit about. I don't care about any of the other characters. She's the only one who's quasi-believable.
There's a scene where she falls down, she kind of turns to the side, and they actually like did an outline that made her look like she had breasts. And I was like, oh man, I don't know how that got through.
So let's go through. Okay, so we already kind of reviewed 1, 2. Now, Aaron, how far did you get? Did you get to episode? You got to episode 3?
I got to the point where I think it was episode 3. Adora is chasing Horsey, and I was like, I'm out. I can't do this.
Yeah, that actually, believe it or not, Razz, of the episodes we've watched the first 5 episodes. Razz is actually the best of the bunch. Yeah. That's episode 3. Now I'll give people a little background. Spoilers if you haven't watched the show yet. And all 300 and whatever.
Leave if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Because we're going to talk spoilers. So episode 3 reintroduces Madame Razz, except she's basically Yoda in this one.
With dementia.
She's got
Yoda with dementia.
I think it's an act. So
I'm sure it is.
She's not the same Madame Razz from the original Filmation show. This version of Razz is kind of a creepy old lady that lives in the woods. The broom doesn't talk, of course. That would be kind of weird.
Lukey is a fan.
Lukey is, he's not even an actual character. Like Cal, he's not an actual character on the show.
He's always hiding.
It's what?
Because he's always hiding.
Because he's always hiding.
I know. I was like, oh my god.
So, Razz now, instead of having this ridiculous New York accent or New Jersey accent that she had in the show, now she's got kind of this stereotypical, I think she's supposed to be Jewish. I'm not sure what the accent.
Know what she's supposed to be.
What the accent is, Mediterranean. I don't know. But she doesn't have any magical powers that we're aware of. I think there's more to her later, probably. But
they keep talking about this Mara.
Yeah,
Oh god.
Do they?
Just 1 second. Spawn Freak just mentioned that Dora and Theo thing. Yeah, we're getting to that. Believe me, we're motherfucking getting to that in a second.
Yes. Yeah, we're definitely going to mention that.
The thing about Madame is, and Madame her thing, I mean, she acts like this whole Dementor thing, like Geeky just said, it's probably an act, but that's what's really bugging me about the writing. Yeah, they have no idea how to do foreshadowing. They don't know, and this bugs me as an author. I have 3 books out. I crunch my teeth at this. Like, you have to say with Seahawk. We get to that later. But with Madame, you have this character who acts like she's demented. There's a little bit more going on. But she's never seen again until the end of the season. So the viewer is left with that picture of her. And you don't get to wonder what's coming up next. This is not how this works.
How much of this is not how it works?
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's tonally all over the place. It wants to be cutesy and kiddie, but at the same time, it wants to address serious issues, and it wants to, I think it just fails on a lot of basic story levels that, I could see myself actually liking the show if it was crafted with, a more deft hand. I feel like, it's kind of all over the place, and it's trying to do, it's really trying to be Steven Universe, and it's, kind of wacky, random. It's not my type of humor, is like my main complaint, which is fine, but like I said, like I told you guys earlier, I talked to my friend's 7-year-old daughter, and she said that she tried to watch it, but that it's for babies.
It is.
And that made me, that really made me laugh, because I thought this is actually written for grown Tumblrites. So the fact that a 7-year-old thinks it's for babies, what does that say about where this show's demo is hitting?
Oh my god. Thank you, Tyler Preston, for $2. Didn't have to do that. Sounds horrible. Did Gail Simone write this? I'm actually gonna give Gail Simone more credit than that. This, again, the tone.
Have you read Plastic Man?
I have not read Plastic Man. I've heard about Plastic Man. I haven't read it.
It's the same type of humor. It's not mine. It's not the type that I appreciate. I say humor in quotes, but it's not the type that I appreciate. But I mean, clearly, I mean, not so much with She-Ra, because we don't know what the reaction or the numbers are going to be. I mean, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
I know, don't you know?
100%.
And every one of those feels like it was written by a PR firm. Every one of those reviews.
That's why they all keep saying the same things. Well, just something I said earlier. I said, if you're going to go and talk smack and say that the animation is far superior to the original, and the characters are far more deep and fleshed out than the original, then you at least better effing deliver a show that is better than the original. But they didn't. Not even close.
Well, they can't. And the funny thing is they say that, but they don't quantify it with any examples. There's never any examples because they don't exist, at least in what I've seen so far. Now, like I said, I've only seen 3 episodes in. I will end up watching more of it, but so far, it's not displaying that. And you can say, oh, well, it's still so early. But if you go and you watch the DuckTales reboot, they establish who the characters are right away. Everybody's very distinct. You kind of know who they are within the first 2 episodes.
What gets better is, you have Catra there. She's the best fleshed out character in the whole season. Like, no need to talk about that. And Adora starts off kind of okay too. Let's forget that fish out of the water thing for a moment. She gets a little more fleshed out of the season. And then they get to episode 11 and they pull this whole Star Wars thing. And I'm sitting there like, okay, Noelle, I know you love Star Wars. Everyone knows you love Star Wars. But that whole no attachment shit is what got your old Federoda killed, so it's maybe not the best idea to do this to your character.
Oh.
See, I didn't know that she loved Star Wars, but when I was watching it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff here that's like stolen directly from Star Wars, including like.
Oh, wait to see Seahawk.
Oh yeah, Seahawk is the. Oh my god.
He's like a more arrogant and annoying Han Solo.
Really?
Even up to the Kessel Run intro type thing. They call it something else.
They steal his introduction, lift it almost word for word.
So is it? Well, see, that's the question. Is like where is it where is it an homage and where is it a ripoff? Like there was the line where Catra says, "Are you ever going to not fall for that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Loki's line from Avengers." Like there was just things that I like immediately recognized as being lifted from somewhere else.
You didn't even mention
and if you're trying to do like little salutes to all of your fandoms, I mean that's fine. I've done it. I think everybody does it here and there. But I feel like this is just
more of that. Yeah, there's a few more like that.
The whole show feels stitched together from other properties, but not in a way that's cohesive.
Go ahead, Stormy.
No, sorry. Because he asked if there's more lines like that. So yeah, I've had that moment a few times where it's like, okay, I don't know. I not only know this line that she's just said, but exactly that tone and that wording. So yeah, that's exactly what fanfiction writers do, which is great. I'm a fanfiction writer myself, but I can't put this shit into my books because it's flat and stealing.
Right, that's why it reads like a fanfic. That's the whole thing. It reads like a giant fanfic.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a little background. This isn't, I'm not trying to throw Noelle Stevenson under the wheels of the bus or anything, but how Noelle Stevenson came to get attention on Tumblr was that she did little funny cartoons of Avengers, Star Wars, etc. She was involved in the Hawkeye Initiative. There's an argument as to whether or not she created the Hawkeye Initiative or lifted it from another Tumblr artist. That's up for debate. But she basically made a name for herself parodying pop culture.
Same argument as Lumberjanes.
Yes.
Same thing.
And that's what this felt like. I mean, it's definitely Noelle Stevenson's sense of humor. It's her, it definitely feels like a Noelle Stevenson comic, but it doesn't work for what.
Sorry, there's an all-important question I'm seeing here. Is Seahawk a gay twit? No. Seahawk is not gay. Seahawk is very, he's very annoying and very self-assured, mostly. And very, if you're going to think that they're going to stereotype straight white guys, that would be Seahawk.
So you think he's a comment on toxic masculinity?
Oh my God, yeah. Absolutely, he is. I mean, he even says, like, after all the girls one-up him on everything, he's like,
because they have to,
He's basically like, oh, I don't think I have a place in this world anymore, kind of. Like, he even says something to that effect. I'm like, oh my God, come on. This is after he has a musical number.
Yes, he does sing.
But does he mansplain? Does he manspread?
He kind of does.
He does. He throws himself.
He's basically Captain Morgan LSD. Like, he's got the whole Captain Morgan stance. Like, his balls are too big. And I'm just saying, honey, you don't have any. Stop it.
I know, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. It is. It's like Captain Morgan. And, and he's going to learn everybody on the ship. And then somehow, miraculously, the best friends squad all know how to do things on a ship already with no reason or rhyme as to why they do.
Adora's never seen a fucking horse, but she knows how to steer a ship. Like, how the hell does that work?
I'll accept that as part of.
Wait a second.
The fright zone. There we go.
We'll go Aaron first. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'll accept that she knows how to do how to run a ship based on her horde training. I'll give him that. Like, that's something I don't. That's like a backstory that that I could, there should be at least a line or something about that. That we learned this in Horde School or whatever.
Horde School.
But, I mean, that's what it feels like. They have Horde Prom, come on, or Princess Prom in this world. So everything feels like junior high. But the main problem is again with tone, and you've shown these characters to be kind of like, bumbling and awkward, yet they're going to show up the sea pirate,
right.
Who spent a lifetime presumably doing this, and they're going to show him up because girl power.
Yes,
but
that's the whole point.
But you haven't established that in the way that you've portrayed the characters. You haven't portrayed them as being these uber competent. If Eudora came in and kicked ass and everything, and you were like, yeah, it's because of her training. You have to establish that in those early episodes, and they don't. She's a goofball.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Stormy?
Oh yeah, no, it's just Iman she spent like her whole life in the fright zone. She never get out. They said that. So and there's like probably no river.
Yeah.
There's no water in the fright zone. It's just a big industrial park.
So I'm like, then suddenly they know how to do all this stuff, and it's like, what?
There's so many just like, I mean, it's so weird. Yeah, again, the tone, we go from Razz, which is actually a quasi-serious episode, to episodes 4 and 5, which are all over the place, and episode 5, which is just freaking slapstick. I mean, the whole way through, it's just a goofy slapstick.
Mermista. I can't even stand Mermista.
Oh my god, I hate her. She is, okay, the voice I do of my millennial voice, they're like, oh my god, guys, oh my god, like, oh my god. Freaking Mermista sounds exactly like that, and she's like that throughout the whole episode, and I just want to slap the shit out of her. Not literally, because then I would be, a man slapping a woman, but...
She's not a real woman.
She's not, she's a fish.
Yeah, there you go. Just slap the fish part.
Slap the fish.
No, remember, there's been articles written that if you're rude to Siri, you're a misogynist, so...
Oh my god.
You can't get away with that.
If you
get away with threatening abuse to a cartoon.
If you shoot women in a video game, NPC women in a video game, you're going to get your YouTube channel pulled down and have the entire internet yell at you. It's like, come on.
You know what's funny to me is I played like all those Star Wars, the Old Republic games, Knights of the Old Republic and things like that. And when I played light side first, because that's more the way that my personality leans. But then you always got to play the dark side. You always got to see how the other half lives. And I found that it was a lot easier to be mean to humans than it was to be to the aliens. Like I couldn't be mean to the Hammerhead aliens or to the Wookiees because I was like, oh, I love them so much. But like, you have human kids like running around and bullying somebody. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit them with force lightning.
Oh my god. Yeah, pretty much. Ever heard of Mystic Knights of Tir Nanog? Tyler Preston wants to know. Yes, I have, and I think I've seen a couple episodes of that. And Scott Pickering, have you guys watched Goblins, French animated shorts? Check it out if you want to wash your brains after She-Ra.
Nope, haven't seen it.
Might have to do that. French are pretty good. The French are excellent at.
Well, our daughter likes Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah,
quite a bit. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. French have it going on. French know what's up.
There's a few questions I think that maybe are important. Working for FIBA, no, it's not a prom from the hall to be there. Spoiler, sorry, it's a princess prom. So for everyone who hasn't seen it, it's a prom for all the princesses on Elphiria. That's why Scorpia is there. Thank you, words, because Scorpia is a princess too, but she works for the Horde. And Scorpia brings Kedra along as her, +1. So, and Mermista brings Seahawk along, so that's why they're all there.
It's just why would Scorpia be invited to the prom?
Because she's a princess, and there's this 1,000-year-old rule that every princess has to be allowed there, and there can be no fighting and no, that's that whole
Oh my
stuff.
god. I can't even, and it's a princess prom. Horde prom would be much more fun to watch.
Horde prom would be awesome. They all freaking shoot each other. We had someone send us some screenshots of this prom episode, and we haven't actually watched it for ourselves, but it looked like, it was literally like Tumblr, the TV show. Like every stereotypical Tumblr comic character you could think of was in the crowd scene of this prom. Yeah, it was like all kinds of hipsters and all kinds of like weird, like we had like they have like the weird like deer people, goat people. It was just like it was every Tumblr comic I've ever seen in this crowd scene.
Lucky is there actually.
Oh, Lucky is there. Oh, cool. Okay.
Not Lucky, but his species. Like Lucky was always a species. They had an episode in him and they had this cartoon. And there's one member of the species standing right there. So I was like, okay, maybe they have a little idea of foreshadowing. Maybe they bring him in later. And I admitted I lolled at that one line, like he's always hiding, and that's when I was early, and I thought maybe the show still got some things going for it. But it was actually a little funny with AI. I'm gonna admit it right there.
Well,
You know,
I was thinking you're right, because when I thought about the fan and she said that, I was actually thinking, okay, so if she's playing that she's, obviously playing that she's like worse than she is. I'm wondering if he isn't actually in the fan or something like that. It was him actually, you're seeing him, he's hiding in the fan, and that, something like later on they're going to show that. And I'm hoping.
Lukey is Hordak. He just wears a mask.
No, I don't think so.
That'd be awesome. Takes a freaking mask off and.
What is that beeping?
Oh, somebody's beeping.
I don't know what that is.
Aaron's beeping.
Yeah, no, there's a truck backing.
Oh, I was like...
We can't say anything because we live on a pretty busy street and we've got like trucks, we've got buses.
There's so much editing we have to do because all you hear is...
The live streams are horrible. We always have to do them at certain times usually. We're doing them in the middle of the afternoon now. I'm waiting for a train to go by because there's train tracks less than a mile from here.
But, and I was going to say about Mara,
I'm actually trying to figure out how I can jump out for a few and then rejoin when I'm in a better area that's quiet.
You could probably call back in, right?
Yeah, you can just call back in. I mean, it's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
We'll be here for a while. There's a lot to talk about.
I was going to say about Mara.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Mara. Oh god, yeah.
Neon has said, but he's like, when Mara sounds a lot like Marlena.
Yeah,
no.
It's not?
It gets worse. That's why
it gets worse.
Oh god.
You remember that's my whole screaming about the Jedi thing. Mara was the original She-Ra. Like they had many She-Ras. They already covered that in the whole marketing thing. Yes. The last one, like 1,000 years ago.
Which I hate
with
a passion.
Mara was the last She-Ra. The problem with this is, and Light Hope tells Adaros that in that whole freaking castle thingy, and she says to her, you can't have any attachments, you can't have any friends, you stay here and train, forget all your friends, because they're better off without you. You can't have any emotional attachments, because the last Mara had, and the last Mara fucked up and got passed out or something. And I'm sitting there like, it's fucking Naomi Sunrider, and that whole no attachment shit, he got the old Jedi Order killed. Like, stop it.
God, I don't like the idea, and that's the thing too. Like, even in the episodes we've seen, I don't like the idea of She-Ra being one of many She-Ras. I mean, that's just, I don't like. Now, granted, they kind of went there with He-Man, where they had Hero or King Grayskull or whatever they call him, where they did have kind of like a prototype He-Man, I guess. But like, I don't like that concept, because that's like She-Ra is a mantle, it's a job. And there's all these these expectations on her now because, hey, by the way, you're the new one, and it's like, okay, fine, just fire her and find a better She-Ra, I guess. I don't know.
Someone wants to know if they mentioned anything about the twins or possibility of being a twin. I don't know. Did they mention anything about that, Stormy?
Yeah, no, not really. You have that whole Eternia name dropping, and I mean, they have it in episode 2 already, I think, where she's like opening the door and saying Eternia to get it. So
yeah.
I think Mattel is still, that's my personal opinion, Mattel is still on the line on this and waiting how it turns out, and maybe they can bring it in later. So they kept the door half open, let's call it that. But Eternia is really the only thing we hear about, is aside from a few visions whenever.
Yeah, that's I mean,
like the Zora head and the baby is crying in the background, so you get
right.
a little thing like that going on.
I don't want them to bring He-Man into this universe. Please, for the love of God, keep He-Man out of this universe, because He-Man, they will treat him like Seahawk. They will treat him like Seahawk. Will. He'll be a big, stupid lunkhead, completely incompetent. No, keep him the hell away from the show. Thank you so much. I can't pronounce your name. Gusium? So what is a princess in this world, a chosen one? No, they're sort of like, each kingdom has its own princess, which is sort of, it's basically Adventure Time. Each princess is like an elemental, I guess, and they sort of run that kingdom, and that kingdom has like an elemental power. Am I correct in that, Stormy?
I think they do it like that. The kind of weird thing is then you have Entraptor there.
Yeah.
We haven't
No,
got to
I've got
that.
this little bit going on of disrespect in the old property. I don't think they do it on purpose. They don't do it as badly as I think they would. But this whole drill thing is a little it creeps me out a little because drill the kingdom where Entraptor comes from, and this is important to know. This was a little village in the old show,
Mhm.
and episode The Price of Freedom took place there, and it's arguably the best and the most mature episode of that whole show.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah.
women and they save each other, and it's really emotional. And it's taking place there. And now they're taking this city, making it her kingdom, and it doesn't fucking matter. It's like they went through the names of any places in the old show and thought, oh, that sounds nice. We're gonna take that. And
Yeah, that's what it sounds
it
like.
takes me off in the wrong way.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they went out and bought like a Shira encyclopedia or something, or just did some, spent some time on Google and like, this name sounds good. This guy, hey, this doofy pirate. Yeah, we can use a doofy pirate. Seahawk, what's his name? Yeah, we'll make him ridiculous. And we'll just
I
kind of.
tell you how this went down in the writers' room. They sit there like you've had it covered in the one episode that one guy said from the news, so the Return of the Seahawk is his new favorite episode, and I sat there like, you can't tell me they ever saw that episode, or if they did. They saw it. They sat in that writers' room, and one of the teams says, we can't have that. You have this cool Jedi pirate there, and he's the boyfriend of the of the protagonist. We can't have that. We need to have a queer baiting. And the other writer goes, and so say no more, fam. That is
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. They did not watch it for sure.
God, no, and that's the whole thing. And like even Noelle Stevenson, like during the interview at New York Comic Con, she basically said she didn't watch the show. She played with the toys, and it's almost like I almost feel like she got the job, and then she had to hurry up and do some homework on.
That's what I think it was.
The show,
yeah.
and they threw some cameos in there just because they could, but like there is no sentimental attachment to the original franchise at all. It's the She-Ra. The character names and the locations and all that, it's window dressing. It's this is her show. It could have been anything, but they just slapped a coat of She-Ra paint on it,
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of aggravating because there are people out there who grew up with the show who would have completely kicked ass and done a respectful reboot, kind of like 2002 He-Man, that would have really knocked it out of the park, and they gave it to someone who was too young to even remember the show.
I think she had her own ideas, and they just weren't going to give her her own thing. They just said, appropriate your ideas into this thing.
Yeah, and you have more insight into Noelle's thing. Is it like you once said a thing that she had this idea that this?
We're cutting out. You're cutting out.
Oh, you're
Sorry. Well, here, Ayla Kadera, $2. Thank you so much. Didn't have to do that. At least we have Star Wars Legends. Mara Jade lives.
Yeah, I love Marge.
Forever.
Anyway, go ahead. Can we hear you? Let's see.
Yeah, you go ahead. Connection's lacking a little, so you go ahead. But I'll be back soon.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about these episodes. So we watched episode 3, which was the Madame Razz one.
Which actually, I will give it. That was actually the best of the bunch.
It was. I actually watched that, and I was like, okay, well, the rest of the show is like
maybe
this.
There's some hope. Maybe there's
some
hope.
It might not be as bad as we thought. And the Madame... Yep. Go ahead. Sorry, what you say?
No, nothing. Just saying yep. Sorry.
Okay, okay. All right, so we watched that one. Because we're going to go through episodes now. And episode 3, basically, I think it's there because we want to see Madame Razz, but I also think it's there because we have to, start explaining everything to the audience, because otherwise you have no effing clue what the hell's going on. And they go to pick berries on one of the ruins of the first ones. And this is after she changed Horsey into Swiftwind.
Accidentally, which I just want to jump in here real quick. Well, first I want to say, you here, Ando, thank you so much. Thank you. I can't sit through the show. It's too millennial. Real quick about the change, though. Apparently, she can change any freaking animal into a flying unicorn.
Yes.
Yep.
Just by randomly shooting lasers out of her sword. God, it's a joke later on. It pisses me off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to recap what it was. So they decide they're going to go pick berries, and Sheep's calling her Mara. And they go up onto this ruin, and Madame Razz falls off. And she's awfully spry for someone who's so old. And she falls, and of course, a door has to catch her. And then there's, then they hear that the Horsey's in trouble. So they go over to fight the Horde to save Horsey.
To save Horsey, yeah.
Madame Razz and Adora go to fight to save Horsey.
To save Horsey, yeah. Yeah, if someone said, Albedo says, Madame Razz is a bootleg Maz Kanata. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Madame
yes.
Razz is Maz. She's Maz. She's even got the freaking goggles. She's got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they saved the horse. Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
So the thing that annoys me about Horsey's spirit thing is through the lenses of a classic fan, but that is what they do here. Spirit was like the only thing old Adora could take out of the Fright Zone. It was that only friend she could take with her until some point later they brought in like Lonnie or something. But Spirit was there from the start, and he was a great character. He had this whole Leonard McCoy crump about him, and you know, in The Secret of the Sword, She-Ra changes for the first time and jumps through the roof on his back, and he's like, oh god, like reassured, and then, okay, well, oh, I got wings now, so let's go.
Yeah.
And now you've got this Shrek-like donkey thing. I'm sorry.
It's like freaking donkey. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't, and there's nothing really heroic about, you know, these characters. I don't think they're really that heroic. I think they're just, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm blown away that like Adora was brainwashed by a bunch of military fascists for most of her life, and she's not completely fucked up in the head. She should be. And two, she's an incompetent soldier for the most part.
And she was the good one.
She was the good one.
They point out the catcher that she was
cream of
second
the crap.
choice, and she was like the joke and couldn't keep with Adora, but we're going to make her force captain. So if Adora was the best you got, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, she's the cream of the crap, I guess. She's...
Sorry.
I'm just like, it's bad.
It's just, it doesn't make sense. In the Horde, like, they're supposed to be, like, in the original She-Ra, in the Secret of the Sword, you got a very good understanding of how big the Horde actually was, how big of a threat they were to Etheria, that they were sort of interdimensional conquerors. They had armies and legions of robots and tanks and stuff. In this, it's like 5 idiotic teenagers playing dress up, and that's the evil Horde. Occasionally they drive a tank. We've got one little skinny blonde kid. Why the hell is he there? Why is he there? I'll give the lizard man a pass, but why in the hell is that little skinny blonde puss? Why is he in the evil Horde?
Well, he has some scenes, I think, later when they take, you know, Bow and Glimmer prisoner, and he pays a small part in that, and I think Seahawk punches him off a cliff. That's actually the most useful thing he ever does.
Because he really is kind of like, what's the point?
Runs and screams at people, just like all the other.
Everybody else does that too. It's like that's what it is, because they run and scream.
I mean, I knew we were in for a treat when within the first 5 minutes of the show, the one girl on the team is calling that kid bruh.
But no, she said it in a word, like
oh bruh.
No,
Yeah,
it's like something. Yeah, it was just like,
oh my god.
It hurts.
No. This show is not gonna. It's not gonna age well.
Let's talk about Perfuma.
Okay,
Perfuma.
I mean
Perfuma.
When I saw her character bio, I'm like, oh my god, it's Phoebe Buffay. Little did I know, it's freaking Phoebe Buffay from Friends. She's a flaky hippie flower chick.
I just wanted to look at Catra and sing, "Smelly cat, smelly cat."
Sing "Smelly Cat" to Catra. Oh my god, that would be awesome.
And at the same time, it goes that's the writing problem again. They have no idea how to characterize a character. You get Perfuma there, changing in 5 minutes, changing your mind, but going from this yoga zen flower person to this complete maniac, you know,
Yes!
I feel so alive killing people. No, I don't.
Well, we have a question. Okay, so all the plants are dying because they're pumping whatever into it and killing the plants, including her source of power. So she hands Adora the flower, and the flower immediately dies. Yet the poisons are still being pumped into the tree, and she rides in to fight on a bunch of vines, and everything else, like, they're not falling apart. Her powers are completely there. She's kicking ass with them. but just got done showing my powers are failing.
I've given up trying to make sense of this. I mean, it's just what's a funny gag? I almost feel like this is how the writers wrote. Like they were just coming up with what's funny. Oh, having Perfuma come in a bunch of vines. That
Yeah, acting like a maniac.
Act like a maniac. That would be funny.
And she's like, oh, we don't want negativity. We only want positivity. And what's up with the one guy that talks like a surfer dude? Like, yo, man, hang 10, and like, we don't want to fight. What's the point? I can't do it. You can do a surfer dude. Can you do a surfer dude?
Dude.
Yeah, like that. He talks
like
that.
Freaking Crush from
surfer dude.
Like,
I can do
oh my god, you just like told Shira to go fuck herself. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, kind of like
You're just
that.
such a bitch, Perfuma.
No, it's more like
my
that's a
God.
comment.
You
It's
wanna
a
get
comment
high?
between Mermista and that guy. But
Oh yeah,
but
Mermista was horrible. I hate her.
Remember,
I
it's
hate her.
Perfuma Grow Hemp. I don't know the way she acts. I wouldn't.
She's a flower of a hippie. She's a hippie. It's a hippie commune. They live in a hippie commune. They live in a magic hippie commune. That's where they live.
Pretty much. And then they don't want negativity, man.
They don't want any
positivity
negativity.
until she gets a taste of killing and shooting people or whatever she's doing with flowers. Do I get to still hit people with flowers? Yeah. I'm in. You know?
I get to murder. I'm like, what is this? Like, freaking, what she have? Like Audrey 2 as her pet or something? Like, if we have tasted blood and I can never go back.
You were going about my Misty, I think. Let's shortly chime in on that episode.
Yeah.
All problems with Seahawk aside, and he's one problem that is the embodiment of problem. Let's look at my Mister for a moment. This whole show has a feeling like family doesn't matter, and that's another thing that irks me out as a classic fan, because it started off with Adora deciding, I love my family, but I need to make this sacrifice, and it breaks me, and it made her great. And this whole season, you don't see one freaking straight, intact family. Not one. Like, they killed Micah, they killed Angela's husband, which wasn't even necessary because he was MIA for 15 years. They could have just kept it that way. No, they have to kill him. And then you got Marmista there. I didn't even think she was such a bad character, actually. I kind of like that grumpy mood. But there's nothing more to her. That's my problem. They didn't define her like with a family. They just said, yeah, she took over from my father, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, then go and show King Mercia. He's the freaking king of the Ethereal Seas. Like, why can't you show one normal, happy family in this thing? I don't get it. That's very odd.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I think they were afraid of having like the king like show up Angela. I don't know. I mean, the one prop I will give, in regards to characterization, with Angela, I did like that she basically cornered Adora and said, if you betray us, I will mess you up. Like, yep. That was cool. That was actually cool. Like, I will give that's how I would react. I'd be like, I don't care who you say you are. You've been working for the enemy your whole life. And I'm going to be watching you. These other characters are just like, yay, she's Shira. Let's just trust her, for no good reason, because we're friends.
Kiki, how do you like Marmista?
Well, Gigi actually, she stepped away for 1 minute. She'll be back here. Sorry about that. We had the dog. The dog is barking because there's a school bus outside. So that's live TV, people. This is why we always do our live streams at night.
I mean, Marmista isn't that bad. Or at least not in that episode. She's kind of, oh god, I laughed at that. Figures that I got a kingdom and it's fucked up. It's like, okay, yeah, I feel you. I feel you so much. But she gets more annoying, I think, later in the prom episode, mainly because they pair up with Seahawk and she hates him. And again, with the writing, that's my main problem with Seahawk. I watched this episode, I hear him go, yeah, Mom, my life is so sad, and they laughed it when I blew up my ships, and Glimmer says, hey, I'm your crew now. And for a moment I think, oh, maybe they actually got it. Maybe, they can go on well. And they don't, and it doesn't change until the end of the season. He never does anything right. And the others don't understand. They're like, oh, he's cool or something. No, he's always annoying. He's always singing. He's still full of himself. He jumps on my Mister's lap like at that ball and completely obnoxious to everything. And that just character development. It's a thing. You ever heard of it? Like, no. Sorry.
Oh my god. So maybe she gets a little better. DCV Titan, thank you. Didn't have to do this. On a scale of Meet the Feebles to The Room, oh my god, how bad is this? The episodes I've seen so far, the only one I was even remotely okay with was Razz, and that's one episode out of 5. The Seahawk episode, the Seagate, I wanted to throw something through the television. It was so cringe. I mean, it was the cringiest. God, it was just awful. It wasn't even like a winking. It wasn't even like Avatar, where there's some jokes in there, but it still, for the most part, was a pretty serious story. It was slapstick. It was pure slapstick, musical numbers, and haha, it's so funny. Seahawk, he can burn his boats for kicks and giggles. Adventure. Let's burn my boats. I'm like, what the heck?
Like the Tumblr thing, you burn a ship, it goes down, it crashes. People don't ship them anymore. Ha ha.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh, here she comes. Aaron's coming back in. Everybody's coming back in. Okay, Geeky's coming back in. Aaron's coming back in.
Had to take care of it.
Okay.
All right. What I missed?
Yeah, I got out of the construction zone.
You got out of the construction zone. That's okay. We had a school bus, and our dog was barking at the school bus.
I did listen. Well, I did listen, even though I wasn't in the chat.
All right, I took care of it. It's all good.
Okay.
So what I miss?
We missed just talking about the kind of the flat characters and Seahawk being written purely as comic relief, and just the writing seems to reflect a basic lack of real world experience, just in general.
That's the problem with a lot of these, with a lot of younger writers, and I don't want to sound ageist, because I think that it just depends on your life experience and your natural ability. Those two things go hand in hand. But like, for example, a really great writer can make up for not a lot of experience just by doing a lot of research and reading a lot and having these other influences. But I think a problem with a lot of the writing today, and I've said this before, is that you're dealing with people who don't have much life experience. They're in their early 20s. They're from a generation that hasn't had to struggle really. Although they'll say that, well, they have their own struggles, and yeah, I get that everybody does, but they haven't gone to war, they haven't faced any kind of like serious serious political upheaval or socioeconomic upheaval, nothing that's really like been something that's kind of like defined their character. They still are in kind of like a perpetual childhood, which is fine. We all are. That's why we're talking about cartoons as adults.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, cartoons should be able to, a lot of the shows now, I mean, they transcend, just the young viewership. They hold the adults' attention too, because especially when you're going to have an old show like this, like Sheer Reboot It, you think there's going to be something there for the adult audience to watch it with their kids, and it's just not.
Well, and don't just regurgitate the things that you've seen before. Like, actually do some research. If you're going to do this opening scene where they're in this VR training and you're showing like their military tactics, even if you're not going to go watch I wouldn't say watch war films, because there's several scenes in even Saving Private Ryan where the troops are all coming over a hill with the sun behind them, and I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't do that in the military. You'd get picked off by snipers. Or they're all they're all grouped together, and it's like, that's not the way that that the military, you want to space out so that you're not all taken out by one grenade or one RPG. So, just do the research. And if you can't be bothered to do actual research into the military or talk to people that are in the military, then at least go watch Clone Wars, because at least they did the research. And when they show the clones fighting, they show them spacing out, and they talk about their tactics, and they talk about how they're going to approach something. And it's not completely realistic, but at least it's a basis. They do that opening scene where they're in the VR and the stupid skinny blonde kid gets hit, and then they all gather around and stoop over him.
I know.
And it's like, the robot that shot him is right there.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen, to get a sense of, the sense of scale of the Horde. I would have liked to have seen, drop them right into a military mission at the beginning, so you can see like these kids in action, that they're soldiers, and you can kind of see it from their point of view. Of this is what we do, but we're doing it for the right reasons, because this is, we took out this whatever outpost, and it turned out it actually wasn't an outpost, it was a village or whatever. And I'm thinking of like Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII did that, where they had the military mission with the teenage characters, but it wasn't played for life. It was serious, and something like that would have been, kind of awesome to establish. These characters are in the military, they're young, they're in the military, they think they're doing the right thing. and then cut away to the other characters, the other side of it. Here's how their actions impacted, the characters from Bright Moon or whatever. Not, this back. It was just weird. It was handled just a very clunky way.
Well, this thing borrows from Star Wars so much, why not just go that extra mile and give us the opening crawl that tells us, at least, if you're not going to show it, which you should, because it should be show, not tell, but at least give us an opening crawl that describes the reach of the Horde Empire, and how they're this, maybe they're, I don't know if they are in this show, but, if we're going off the old show, that they're this intergalactic force, and now they've come to Etheria, and they're going to such Etheria, give us a sense of stakes, at least in some narration, if not in the animation itself.
Yeah, we never get that. We never get a sense of the side. I mean, from the size of the Horde, from just the episodes I've seen, as far as I can gauge, the Horde are about a dozen teenagers dressed up in armor. That's have a couple of tanks. That's the best I can do. What is that noise? I don't know. What is that noise? We got lots of noises going on here. We always have noise. Somebody says it's windy.
Oh, it's daytime, guys. Sorry.
Oh, I think someone said they wanted you to turn up your volume a little if you can. Aaron. Okay, what else are we going to talk about?
Let me see.
Well, now you're tinny.
Hold on, I might be able to pull them up here a little bit. There we go.
Okay. Now let's try.
Okay. You still there? Stormy, you still there?
Yep.
Okay.
Aaron?
Okay. There we go. Okay, so, I don't know. So what were we talking about? We're talking about, did we work our way to episode 5? I guess we worked our way to episode 5.
Yeah, when I left, you were talking about that.
Which I think is going to cause a lot of people to rage quit.
Oh, the songs. God, the songs. That's worse.
The song and the soundtrack. I mean, am I the only one who caught that Pirates of the Caribbean tune in the middle of
Yeah, when they were fighting on the deck, Bo, they did have a couple lines from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, come on. The Horde are taking over the stream.
Yeah, that's really loud.
Let's see here. Let's see what we can do. I don't know if we can do much.
What is it you guys are hearing? Because I've actually got my hand over the mic.
Shh, like that.
Yeah.
Now it's gone.
Yeah, now it's gone.
Now it's gone.
I don't know what it is.
What are you doing, Aaron? What are you doing?
I'm driving.
He's dragging.
Don't tell people
Oh
that.
my God, you're gonna wreck yourself.
No, I'm on a headset. I mean, I'm hands free.
Okay. All right. Oh
you
my
know what
God.
though? I don't want to mess up the stream. So I'll go ahead and I'll get out so that it's not, because I don't want to bother anybody who's listening. And if you're picking up a lot of background noise from me, I just don't want to.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
It's Aaron's toxic masculinity. Noelle Stevenson's hacking the stream. They're just hacking in the stream and blowing into the mic as loud as they can to try to shut it down. Try to shut us down. Yeah.
Next thing you know, Aaron got a mustache and then titty window. Yeah.
I'm gonna sing a sea shanty. Are you guys ready?
All right. There you go.
Yeah. No, I can't. The only sea shanties I know are dirty.
Oh my God, the sea shanty. God, I can't believe they went there. No, I can believe it because, again, we haven't watched a whole show, but apparently Swiftwind's voice actor has a music. Yeah, this is the most unorganized podcast ever. This is why we don't do them. People are like, why don't you do shows earlier, like on my lunch break? I'm like, we can't because there's too much noise. There's too much noise. But yeah, it's up to you, Aaron. If you want to stick around, you can. If you don't want to stick around, you don't have to.
As long as I'm not disrupting things.
So you're not creating the wind. You spin to create wind. Spinnerella is trying to. Well, Noelle Stevenson is Spinnerella, so she's trying to
stop us.
blow her wind into the live stream to make sure we stop talking about the show.
Oh, Spinnerella! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, actually, I think Ron just asked, do you think that it will make a break situation for Stevenson? I don't know. I mean, I've been going through the fear attack on Tumblr all day, and obviously it's made for them, and they are all going crazy over this.
I'm sure.
But there's some toxic shit going on Tumblr for a few years now. So some purity police, and there's a few things in this show that people won't like Seahawk obviously supposed to be a few years older than the rest of the others, because he already had a ship and a crew back then.
Yeah.
And then now you got Bo pining for him, literally staring at his mustache and wanting to lick his face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so shiny.
It's so
And
shiny.
it's not going to sit well with those kind of people because they're all about, oh my god, they're so innocent and pure, and leave my pure characters alone. And that's not going to sit well with them. Then we've got Entraptor there, who's really not well written. So I don't know, but if they work each other up over this whole fate thing, then they lose
Well,
that Tumblr audience, like it happened with Voltron. And then I don't know what they got left because right now they only got this audience speaking for them. That's the problem. And
if the
if you
show goes long enough, Tumblr will turn on it because Tumblr turns on everything.
They do.
Yeah, they
because
do. Yeah, they
because
do.
what'll happen is the writers will do something. They'll put two characters together that Tumblr has already started shipping two different characters, and they won't like it, and then they'll cause a big problem like they did with Steven Universe.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. Yeah, they threatened one of the writers. Was it one of the writers on the show or one of the artists on the show? Because they accused her of queer baiting by shipping two characters together they didn't approve of.
Yeah.
And she was gay. She was gay, and they were accusing her of queer baiting. I was like, what is wrong with you people?
Well, and how many times in life are people attracted to one person and then that doesn't work out and then they find somebody else? I mean, that's just a reflection of the way things go. And I think that's just good writing sometimes, is you have a character, pine for somebody that they can't have. We've all done it. So
Except for Neon. Neon knows this place, and he's only ever liked me. Sorry.
It's where my face belongs.
Gosh.
On your cheek.
There
on
you
your
go.
cheek.
Okay. There you go.
On
yeah.
your cheek.
Good save.
Darling. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. Like, and that's it. They and I think, I'm trying to rewind the clock. Like, the show would have had to have been greenlit a couple of years ago. I think somebody else mentioned in the comments that they think it's already past its expiration date. I think they greenlit the show when all the studios thought pleasing Tumblr was the way to go. Like, let's make Tumblr happy because, gosh, look at all these reblogs and retweets. We're going to have this massive audience, and then we'll sell stuff to them. And we found out that doesn't work for shows like Steven Universe, where they're trying to sell them merchandise. They don't buy it. They don't buy the stuff. They don't
have any money.
No. Tumblr's going to love this show, but Mattel is not going to be able to sell toys. They're not going to be able to sell toys. Kids aren't going to care. They don't care. The show's not for kids. It's for 22-year-old Tumblrites.
Mm-hmm.
What occurred to me is we were talking about the costume designs, and when I was looking at Glimmer, I was really, just as I was watching her in the show, I was starting to hate her costume design more and more. And I realized why these shows are designed, why the costumes are so lackluster. They're designed for lazy cosplay.
Probably. Well, you got some sweatpants, you got a purple shirt. Yeah, you're Glimmer. Biker shorts or something.
That's really, you don't have to it's all about not putting in much effort. And that's who it's appealing to. It's appealing to, these costumes are so that you can just go to Walmart and you can buy, some bicycle pants and, a tank top, and then throw, you might have to, kind of cobble together a cape, but that's about it. And now you can cosplay it.
And you see it in the art style of the overweight characters too. I don't know if one of you pointed that out. In some of the episodes, especially when Glimmer is in action of flying or something, she looks thinner. I'm sorry. I know the Justice Warriors are coming at me for this, but she looks thinner. And someone pointed out that's because it's harder to actually draw and animate a character who's not like this perfect hourglass figure.
Yeah.
So I'm not an artist. I can't say if that's correct, but they definitely change up the shapes in some scenes. What do you want to do now? Do you want to have your representation there? Then put your effort into it.
Yes. It's like they're not.
And I think a lot of it is, and this is a problem, complaint people have at Steven Universe too, just kind of going to the production end of it. The animation studios that do the majority of the work are usually Korean. They just go on storyboards. They go on what they're given. If the storyboards have the characters changing shape, changing sizes, whatever, a lot of times, they go with it
because they don't know what the story is.
They don't know what the story is, so they're like, okay, that must be what they want, and that explains a lot of the people point out the animation errors in Steven Universe all the time, size differences, and then if you look at the original storyboards, a lot of times it's just blobbed out some characters, and then that's what they animated.
Yeah, Hunter
Well,
said
if there is a mistake too, it's tough to, especially with production time and things like that. If something comes back and it's wrong, and it's not egregiously wrong, sometimes it's just easier to go with it than it is to send it back and spend another 3 to 4 months waiting to get something back.
Yeah.
Well, this Hunter said about she's much thinner in the episode 3 when they dress up as the enemy. Yeah, because they're in the Horde uniforms. One, where the hell did they get the Horde uniforms from?
I was wondering that too. Where did they come? They didn't knock
two,
anybody out.
They're
did
right.
They?
She's way thinner. She's like right in the. The armor is holding her in.
The armor is holding her.
I'm a heavier girl. It doesn't hold you in that well. I mean, you can't breathe. They're gonna be like.
Oh my God! Could you imagine the backlash on Tumblr if they blow it? They blow the mission because they can't fit Glimmer into the armor. Like, oh my God,
that would be realistic. I'd be in favor of that. Like, look, there's a reason I don't dress up as a stormtrooper. Okay, I can't fit into the armor. All right, that's for very slim fit people. The best I can do is maybe pull off a biker scout because that outfit is more forgiving. You gotta know what your limits are.
Well, she can transport. Maybe she transported half of her mass someplace else, temporarily.
Suddenly, Cathra's a little bit fatter.
Yeah, that's right.
Cathra's fatter.
Smelly cat.
Smelly cat. Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, I'm just sitting here scratching my head. Like, I don't understand. Obviously, Mattel didn't have a hand in this because Mattel, they're always going to look at the show and they're going to be like, how are we going to make money as toy manufacturers? How are we going to make money off of this? What is this doing to our brand? And this is, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest. This show is brand damaging to the Masters of the Universe and She-Ra toy lines, like the classic. Like, this show, it might be a hit with Tumblr, but if it doesn't go over with the mainstream and She-Ra is a joke because the show is very jokey, it could be another 15, 20 years until we see anything. Any other, He-Man animated series or whatever. I mean, apparently they're doing the movie, but, I don't know what's going on with that.
That movie has been stuck in development hell for 50 years.
Yeah.
So, you don't know it's supposed to come out next year. No, it's not coming out next year. They haven't shot a single scene. They have no actor. They have no director. They're not gonna publish it next year. So,
there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Maybe they're waiting for how good is this show doing. I mean, that studio Mattel created the movie, so they're still young. Maybe they're just, being a little careful, seeing what's happening here. And I'm just thinking to myself, if they don't do that movie, or if they do that He-Man show, because someone just thought they could fuck up She-Ra, I'm sorry, I'm calling it that, then I'm gonna be fucking pissed, because this franchise is gold. It has been gold in the 80s. It's been inspiring to girls like me, to a whole generation. It's sitting here like, how can you fuck this up? I'm sorry, I don't get it.
They totally did. Well, there's that one part where Madame Razz and they were talking about, how does she word it? Like, these bad people want to destroy things they don't understand. And I was like, yes!
Yeah,
yes,
right?
They do.
Yeah, they
yes,
do. And
they do.
Yeah, and it's just like,
wow, it's loud
oh, you're windy, Aaron. Are you spinning? Are you spinning right now?
I don't even have the air conditioning on in the car.
Oh my God, what's going on? I don't know.
He's cosplaying Spinnerella.
You're cosplaying as Spinnerella. I know, dude. I know. It's fine. Your secret's safe.
Yes, and someone said dumpy character toys don't sell as well as pretty ones or ones with brushable hair. That's what I'm saying. They need the brushable hair. I'm telling you.
Listen, I know that we want everybody to feel good about themselves and I mean, I think that there's definitely a place for that, but in these action adventure franchises, to me, it just kind of goes back to when Man of Steel came out and Superman was dark and brooding and breaking people's necks and, ruining people's livelihoods because they pushed him around at a bar. And, I absolutely hated it. And the argument that people would give me was, well, Superman's just not relatable. They wanted to make a Superman that's more like us.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a Superman who's more like us. I'm interested in Superman being a symbol for us to aspire to. I'm interested in us being more like Superman. And I think that with these characters, I'm sorry, but if you're in the military, you're not going to be, overweight. You're just not. You're not effective. Number one, you're a bigger target. Number two, you don't have the cardio. Number three, you're not going to be able to climb the ropes. You're not going to get out of basic.
Neither does Glimmer. She just snaps herself up there.
That's her excuse. She doesn't have to walk anywhere.
Well, if you got teleportation powers, I guess that's a pass. But how much more effort does it take to get Spinnerella off the ground, being that she's carrying 150 extra pounds, than it would be if she were. I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Look, I'm saying this as a husky guy. The whole thing about the body positivity thing that really kind of like bothers me is that it's a health issue, and it's like you're at higher risk for heart disease. You're at higher risk for, diabetes. For all of these different health problems that are going to negatively impact your life. And just because we want you to feel good about yourself, we kind of like poo-poo all that. And maybe we're going in the wrong direction. Maybe we should say like, hey, love the skin you're in, but at the same time, it's not something to aspire to. It's not something to feel spectacular about, because you're not going to feel spectacular when you have all these medical problems.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I guess the idealization, like kids, they want hero. I don't want to see a balding, overweight Superman just to feel good about myself, because as I'm getting older, I'm like, I don't want to see Superman with a beer gut. Like nobody wants to see Superman with a beer. Well, some people might want to see Superman with a beer gut, but I'm just saying, like
people at Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
Retirement Superman.
Retirement Superman. But like it's just it's just we want our heroes to look a certain way. And that's not being, again, I don't think that's body shaming or anything. It's just kind of like, I don't know.
It's a difficult subject. I mean, body positivity it's a thing, and I'm all for having characters in there that maybe others can relate to too. I mean, I'm a heavy girl myself, so what can I say? It's just that they took the wrong characters to do this. Like, can you please not take the character who has wind power? Why not get fucking Natasha to be fed? That's what I'm getting. Make it at least logical. It's a phantom disbelief. It's the first thing you learn as an author. If you have a world where things happen that don't exist, you have to make everything that's real, that can exist, as real as possible. Like so people can believe the stuff that isn't. It's the first thing you learn. So it's fantasy physics is a thing. You figure out how this could work, how to make it as realistic as possible. That's how you get people to believe this actually happened.
If I'm already buying the fact that there's this technologically world that has sorcery and super science, I can also accept that it's a world with no carbs.
Like world with no carbs. Gooseyum jumping in here. Is the concept of a role model dead? They want
it to be changed.
I think they do. I think they don't want people. They want to humanize all of our heroes, which I guess is kind of a double-edged sword. Because I think on some level, I think your heroes kind of we put them on pedestals and then they disappoint us. Or we find out later that they were a lie, a fabrication. But then it's also like, well, if they're not any better than we are, then what do we have to aspire to? There's I mean, I understand everybody can be heroes, just for one day.
I was thinking it.
But what do we have? What do we have to aspire to then? Like to be better? It's like, well, it's good enough to just be me as I am and whatever.
Well, hello. Have you seen me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, but it does seem like role models. They might be the role models they decide are the role models. So, I don't know.
Well, they're deciding that they are the role models.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
And again, I think it just comes back to. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're getting into like the psychology of a generation, but it just kind of feels like everything should just kind of fall in your lap and be handed to you, and you shouldn't have to work for or try for anything. And that's kind of the way that I feel like this show is going. Is that nobody? It's just their.
Oh, we're losing you, Aaron. Hello? I think we lost Aaron.
He'll come back.
Stormy, you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Where were we going? Party positivity and heroism. I think I wouldn't mind the whole. I don't mind the whole character new design at all. I think they look good. They're okay. I'm with except for Horak wearing a dress. I'm okay with the character design. But what I'm angry at is the new crew and the new band sitting on the old show using this design. That's my problem here. Because that whole discussion about heroes sexy back then.
We're losing everybody
Stop
now.
lying and stop. Sorry, Aaron? Aaron, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, he came back. Okay.
Because I wasn't hearing myself quite for a moment.
Oh, sorry. Aaron's windy.
The problem you create with saying the old Giro was too sexy and we're giving her biker shorts now and pretend that she's better protected now. Whatever.
I know.
But don't pretend that don't say that the old costume was too sexy, because for one, that was how costumes were back then. So you gotta see through the end of the 80s. I'm sorry. Wonder Woman's costume looked basically the same. No one's fucking on Wonder Woman. Like, that annoys me. Also, you get a skirting, sure, but Kira had something under it. She's basically wearing something that an artist would wear, a circus outfit.
Circus outfit. Well, it's about a circus.
Yeah, and that's what annoys me, because you can't, in remaking that and saying the old way was bad, you're telling little girls that you cannot be badass and sexy at the same time. Yeah. And the old girl was allowed to be sexy because she was 20 plus, I'm sorry, she's no teenager. So she could do the whole thing, and it never bothered anyone because she was badass, she had a great heart, she had humor. She outdid Hordak, for fuck's sake. So it didn't matter how she looked, and now you go and say, no, that is not okay. You can be beautiful and badass. It's not working. You have to choose, girls. And that annoys me. It annoys me to no end, because yeah, you can be though. It's totally okay if you just wondered at them. But it's also okay if you're both. It happened. I'm sorry.
I said, roll the windows up, Aaron.
No, I agree. I think that's made a lot of people mad at first too. It's like, why can't you look like that?
I've got my hand over the mic. There's no reason that you.
I don't know what's going on. It's just like weird. No, when you talk, we don't hear it, but then when you're not talking, we hear it.
Yeah, we hear it.
Anyway, that was my costume rant. Go on.
I agree with you. I mean, that's what I was saying too. Somebody said when we know about Lumberjanes, yes, and when it was their first clue that designs were going to be bad. Yeah, no, that's why when I saw that they were doing She-Ra and that's who was running it, my first comment was shit. There was a reason because I already was very familiar with this person for other reasons. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we're excited because we're like, hey, DreamWorks is doing it. Voltron was good.
I really thought Voltron, because the Voltron was good, it might
Studio
save
Mirror,
it. I really thought it might save it. And then I saw the character designs, I was like, I mean, of She-Ra, I don't care if they changed the other characters up some. That didn't bother me. But then why did you have to change She-Ra too? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't back to Aaron's point about not having to work for anything. So we've got, it's almost kind of meta. It's like, the showrunners walked into a seat that was already kind of warmed for them because the brand had been built already. The character of She-Ra on this show is not the first She-Ra. She's one of many She-Ra. She's walking into the job of She-Ra. It's already been done before. There are already expectations and rules and guidelines. That's kind of how it feels with this show too. Is it's already been sort of the rules have already been established or whatever, and now they're just kind of putting their own personal spin on. But nobody, I mean, I'm not saying nobody had to work, but like the hard work building something from nothing was already done, and we see this more and more with this generation where they don't really build anything from nothing. They take over a previously held position. They come into companies that are already up and running, and but you don't see too many just like rolling up their sleeves and being like, yeah, I'm building this thing totally from nothing. And that's just I don't know, that's just my opinion. I'm getting old, I guess.
We're like basically like standing on our lawn yelling at teenagers.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Muppet Show, the two old people in the Muppet Show, that's me.
Really old.
Silvani and I always joke that that's us, that we are the Statler and Waldorf of comics and pop culture. It's because we just stand there and make our jab and then
yeah, I mean, Neon always jokes. He's like, "Get off my lawn!" He always is saying that.
I literally have had to tell kids to get off my lawn though, because that bus stop's right down the street, and they walk through our yard, and I've had to tell them.
I don't really care if they walk through our yard. So I'm just like, but anyway, yeah, I did say get off my She-Ra, but it's kind of like that. Get off my She-Ra. But
you know what the number one problem in this country is right now? Punks.
Disrespect. Why is there think about I'm probably old enough to be the dad of a lot of people working on this show.
If you started young.
Really good point here. Why does she get taller and bigger? They never explain it. I'm at a loss here actually. because the whole secret identity trope, they completely shun it. It's completely out the window. And okay, you don't like it, fine. I don't get why you're making She-Ra of all things if you don't like the whole secret identity thing. But okay, you do you. But why does she have to go like tall? I mean, the Superman has glasses for fuck's sake, and it's okay. I mean, you don't need to do that. Let's say we accept it. Let's say we let him do it. But can you at least make the fucking horse grow too? Because she's too tall for the fucking horses, She-Ra.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Our daughter was the same thing. She's like, I don't understand why she turns bigger. There's like no point to that. She's like, I don't get it. It's just, And if she was getting bigger because she was supposed to be getting older because they supposed to be aging her forward, she wouldn't turn 12 feet for one. She also wouldn't be flat chested for another. So I don't know.
Yeah, I liked how they handled it in 2002 He-Man, where Adam looked like a normal proportioned 16-year-old, and then when he became He-Man, he was like Mr. Universe, and they looked like they were similar enough, but like He-Man wasn't 12 feet tall, he just was like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it makes sense that they made her like turn older and like to a more of a womanly shape, which you can't do. So I think in replacing that, we'll make her 12 foot tall, and she'll kick their ass because she's a giant.
Like she grows boobs.
Well, she becomes like an Amazon. I feel like there's elements of this show that really could work if they had. I feel like they just needed some oversight. Like supposedly Chuck Austin was involved in this, but we can't figure out what his involvement was past that one article.
I still haven't figured out where Chuck. I mean, I've heard now. The only place I've heard that Chuck Austin was involved was in Mary Sue in that one press release.
So take that for what you will.
But I do know Chuck Austin basically. Well, he was in IMDb though too, but somebody might put him there because he was in the article. And he has been working in animation. He pretty much quit comics to go work in animation. He's been successful in animation, so maybe he was involved early on in the development process, and then he ducked out for whatever reason. I have no idea.
Because I feel like Noelle Stevenson is creative. I don't deny her that. I'm sure that it's like I've never worked with her, but I'm sure that she has some good ideas but you need. Look, we all need an editor at some point. We need somebody to tell us when we're getting too far afield, when something doesn't work, and to look for holes in our story because sometimes we get too close to it. And I feel like this show definitely could have benefited from a strong story editor, someone to keep some of these things in check and kind of give the show a consistent tone and focus.
Yeah, that's actually what Paul Hicks is saying here right now. As a father, I'm shocked that I know good cartoons for my kids that don't have political agenda. That's the thing. That's another thing. I'm looking at the old cartoons, and yeah, they didn't have an agenda, but you know what they did have? They did have morals. I don't need Lucy to tell me when to go to bed. Go fuck this. But the old He-Man and She-Ra cartoons had great values and great morals, and they didn't stand up like and point their finger at me anywhere. They just told good stories. They told stories about book burning, for fuck's sake, about fighting bullying, about fighting racism. These are all values that hold up to you. Needed to do this whole social justice warrior thing for it to work. So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree here with that. I want to see a cartoon like that. I don't need a political cartoon. Cartoon doesn't need to have to be political to be good and to give morals. That's yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. DCV Titan, thank you. Didn't have to do that. Maybe Shira's power is the same as Kamala Khan's. Maybe she like shapeshifts. It's weird.
She embiggens.
She gets biggin. She becomes statuesque. So. I don't know. I mean, we're not even halfway through the show yet, but I just, clearly this show is not for old school fans.
They'll tell you that every time you have any comment on it.
It's not. So I think, if it's going to be popular, it's going to be popular with Tumblr. And good luck with that, because I don't think Tumblr's going to buy anything. Tumblr's not going to buy dolls. So now I hear radio playing. So, but we're gonna wrap this one up. Anybody have any final thoughts here before we wrap this up?
I know I'm gonna have to sit through the rest, and I'm just trying to muster the strength to do it.
I'm so out. Like after that Seahawk episode, I'm actually angry. I'm like, I cannot believe that this got through. And like everyone's saying, I don't think there was any editorial oversight. I don't think there was any input from Mattel. I think they just said, here you go do it. So, Aaron, you got any final thoughts?
I'm gonna give the rest of the. I mean, I'm gonna give the rest of the show a shot. I didn't watch in far enough, I think, to completely. This is just all my initial impressions of what I think of it. Sorry, guys. There's like a guy next to me with the radio blaring. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch the rest of it and see what, and then we'll re-adjourn for our final.
Yeah, we'll have a final meeting, and I mean, I've seen it. I'm not toxic enough or selfish enough to say I want this to fail. I'm not saying this. So I would love to have another shot of this with, what I like, but it was selfish. I'm saying, okay, let it succeed for what's worth it. Maybe it will not succeed. Maybe they get better in second season. That's my hope right now. Because I don't except for that Catra thing, I don't see anything in this season that appeals me. I only see a lot of things that I really can't live with right now.
Yeah.
And as a 30-year-old She-Ra fan, it's just not fun.
Yeah, Nicholas Horton, thank you so much. I miss the original Horde Troopers. Yeah, I mean, I do too. I think there's just a lot of. I think this feels to me like I mean, maybe the second season, maybe I agree with Stormy. Maybe it will get better.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they take a look at it and be like, well, we can maybe improve upon this in these ways. Maybe we shouldn't just alienate everybody and try to like work with some people and maybe bring those other people in.
Yeah, I mean, it feels. I don't know. It just feels like there's. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, it's inconsistent, and I think there's some good ideas in there, but and we were going to look at it objectively and be like, hey, even if it's not She-Ra, is it a good show on its own? And I'm actually finding it annoying.
I would not watch it.
I was not annoyed with the Dragon Prince, even though it had some younger characters. I never found them grating like I do most of the characters on this show. So.
Don't putting the first season. Mostly maybe if this continues on, maybe it'll kind of become more cohesive and kind of find its tone.
But yeah, I'm not into it. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see how old school He-Man and She-Ra fans actually react to this, because it's such a 180 from the original tone, the tone of the original series, which actually tried to be serious, even though there was some slapstick in there. They tried for the time to be serious and handle some weighty topics, and this one's just, it seems like it's playing it mostly for laughs.
Well, they're trying to.
Well, maybe they're not trying.
Sometimes they are, sometimes not they are, but it just turns out that way.
It'll be interesting to see if kids latch onto it. So far, like my friends' kids that have watched it have not gravitated towards it, but we'll see. We'll see if it finds its audience.
Our daughter doesn't like it. No, she likes Hilda and she likes, Miraculous Ladybug and things like that, but she's not.
Yeah, Dragon Prince they liked. Our daughter, she's supposed to be the target demographic, and she's not liking it. She doesn't like it. She's not into it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're gonna wrap this one up, guys. Thank you so much for coming in, Stormy and Aaron. Thank you so much.
It was great.
And we're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna do some more as we work our way through the episodes. We'll do some more reactions to them. We probably will eventually work our way through the whole series, but I'm just kind of like, it's pretty much everything we thought it was gonna be. So please subscribe to CLOWNFISH TV. For more pop culture news, views, rants. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. Again, thank you to our guests. Thank you to our viewers. For those of you especially who gave us a super chat, thank you so much. Didn't have to do that, but we do appreciate it, and we appreciate all of you watching. And go watch the show and form your own opinions. Yeah. Do you want anything else?
No. I'm fine.
Okay, guys.
Do what the internet does, and let us know why we're wrong.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. See ya.